So as Bitcoin is pumping and repeating itself exactly from this last pattern we saw in October, which was a breakout with a cool-off candle followed by 4 days of pumping. Here we have a breakout with a cool-off candle and we are pumping after. People are rightfully, and it makes sense. People are very excited right now. And so that's great. Price is pumping, things are going up, and people are making money on the long side. That's great. But I think today is a great time to open your eyes and give you a massive light bulb event and explain to you why shorting is objectively superior to longing in certain cases. Now, there are downsides, there are positives, there are negatives to shorting, just as there is positives and negatives to longing. Today I'm going to explain the side of shorting and explain to you why it really is such a beautiful power if used correctly and can dramatically change your results as a trader or investor. So today we're going to start off with a simple example and debunk a couple of myths. So let's start off here with an example. So let's say one Bitcoin is 60K, okay? And so you got a guy who he buys one Bitcoin for 60K and he hodls that Bitcoin down to 10K, so an 80% loss. Then you got a guy who shorts Bitcoin when it's at 60K instead of buying it down to 10K. And so what do we see happen in this example? Well, this guy has he's this genius guy who hodls Bitcoin. He's got one Bitcoin, right? And so what do people tell you? They say, never sell your Bitcoin. Institutions are playing a game. They're trying to take all your Bitcoin and make sure you never sell or else you're going to give it to the institutions. It's so rare. It's, there's only 21 million. Never sell your Bitcoin, right? That's what people tell you. We're going to debunk that myth today because in this example from 60K to 10K, right? What do you make? Well, you make $50,000 on the short side, right? From 60K to 10K. Plus, you save yourself that 60K. So 60K, right, short, right, one Bitcoin short, plus you make $50,000, all right, which is $110,000 in total. Now, $110,000 in total turns into, my friends, 11 Bitcoin on a crash of 80%. So the guy, the hodler, he is left with one Bitcoin, whereas the institutions, the ones who actually sell and bring the prices down dramatically, are the ones who turn one Bitcoin into 11 Bitcoin. So the myth of never sell your Bitcoin. No. Actually, you are being used as exit liquidity for the institutions to dump the price. So as we are ever in a downtrend, basically what mostly is happening is price will bounce, and that's a lot of times it's retail traders and investors. Obviously institutions have something to do with that, but really they're using that as their exit. So it bounces, they exit, while you continue to buy the dip and hodl, right? Everyone, when the market is crashing, 99% of people don't ask, should I short it? People ask, should I buy the dip, right? So they ask, should I buy the dip here? Should I buy the dip here? Should I buy the dip here? Here, well, the institutions just keep bringing the price down and you keep buying and helping them get out as they bring the price down. And so you are left with one Bitcoin while the institutions from 60K to 10K, the exact same market environment and movement, can turn one Bitcoin to 11 Bitcoin. And that is why today, for example, I saw a tweet here on my Twitter. Let's just go to notifications. This is funny, right? People say, I don't think it's possible for Bitcoin to go down to 10K or 20K. There's too many whales in the market. They will buy every last Bitcoin before it reaches 9K. Michael Saylor himself will buy every Bitcoin for his 9K. But here's the thing. Michael Saylor isn't the only big player or whale in the market. There are plenty of whales who will happily take the price much down further because, as you can see, you can turn one Bitcoin into 11 Bitcoin while Michael Saylor hodls. Real smart people are going to be making bank. And so another common fallacy and myth here, right? Too many whales in the market. There's too much institutional adoption. They'll buy every last Bitcoin before it ever gets down too low. That is so wrong because institutions and the big players are the one who can push the price down at 10K while retail hodls and holds, right? They're the ones who can push it down to 10K and buy back 10 times more while you hold your one Bitcoin. This is how the institutions beat you in the same exact game. And so as people are told to hodl, they're really just being diluted in relation to the big players and the real movers of this market. So let's go through another example here. And I know that's a perfect and handcrafted scenario there, but let me also show you another way shorting can objectively be far better than longing. So for example, let's say you long Bitcoin, and so before in the previous example, we did an example where Bitcoin drops 50,000 points. Well, look at this. When Bitcoin goes up 50,000 points, guess what? You're still only left with one Bitcoin, okay? So when Bitcoin goes up, you don't gain any Bitcoin, okay? You still have one Bitcoin, whether it's at 60,000 or at 100,000. Now, when you short Bitcoin, okay, from 60,000 on a 50,000 point drop, right? So 50,000 point move to the upside or 50,000 point move to the downside, guess what happens? You now get 11 Bitcoin, as we talked about, because $110,000 on 10K is 11. Okay, now let me explain this further so you can really understand the power here. So this would be an example of, now let's do this. So let's say price goes from 50K to make math simpler. So price goes up from 50K up to 60K. That's a 20% increase. So guess what? Congratulations, Johnny. You made plus 20% while the market made plus 20%. Okay, you have no absolute value advantage here in relation to a short seller. Now, a lot of you may be confused and may be thinking, wait, what? What do you mean there's no absolute value benefit as a longer compared to short seller? Well, think about this. Okay, if you short Bitcoin at 50K, guess what? Oh my God, man. If you get this, you will be a rich man. Okay, maybe not. You probably can still lose your ass as a short seller. But look at this. Price goes down 20% while you make plus 20%. So absolute value as a short seller, you get a 40% or a 40-point net difference here as a short seller. Whereas a longer, you have a 0% net difference from the market. Right? As a short seller, once again, you're making 10,000 while the asset is losing 10,000. That's a 20,000 point absolute value difference, guys. So get that, man. Get that. From 50K to 40K, you make 10,000 while the asset loses 10,000. That's 20,000 in absolute value. Here, the asset goes up 20,000, you make 20,000. There is zero difference and there's zero extra value there as a longer. And once again, you are stuck with Bitcoin. Here, you've taken 50K, you've made 10,000 to the downside, so you're now at 60K. But 60K equals 1.5 Bitcoin, whereas the same move of 10,000 points to the upside only equals 1 Bitcoin. Okay, does it make sense? So it only equals one Bitcoin. So there is a massive value to being a short seller, and you get returns that are unimaginable and not possible as a longer and as a buyer. And so as people tell you to hodl, as people tell you don't let institutions get your Bitcoin, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. The truth is institutions have massive advantage and incentive to push the price down to get a whole lot more, because retail traders and investors, they only buy the dip, they only diamond hand, and the real players are the ones who are smart. The real players are the ones with real money, and people with real money fucking short. People with no money only long. All right, that's not true completely. You can make a lot of money only longing, only buying the dip, only dollar cost averaging. Right, but you get the point. So if you understand the absolute value you get as a short seller that you do not get as a long buyer, then you just got $1 million secret that people for some reason just don't understand. They don't get it. And if it's so simple, it's so obvious, then why does no one stress the importance of that to you? Right? People only tell you to long, buy the dip, hodl. And if this is so simple, why doesn't anyone talk about it? 2, I want to give you an example of how, even if you are a hodler, right? So let's say you got 60K Bitcoin, right? So this equals 1 Bitcoin. But even allocating 10% of this short, so for example, 6K short, on a drop down to 10K in Bitcoin, that's an 80% drop, right, roughly. Okay, so 10K Bitcoin. So you make 80% on 6K, guys, you've now turned 6K into 11K. Okay, remember, you're hodling the other 54K, right? So you're just taking, you're hodling 90% of the 60K, and you're allocating just 10% short, right? So you got 54K, which is 0.9 Bitcoin, okay, 0.9 Bitcoin, while all you did was allocate 10%. This 10% allocation turns into a 100% Bitcoin, okay? Crazy stuff, because by just allocating 10%, you're able to get yourself an entire another Bitcoin, okay? So you hodl 90%, that's still 0.9 Bitcoin. 10% turns into more than 100% of your portfolio value, okay? Because this is one Bitcoin. So this is how 10% of your portfolio can become more than 100% of your portfolio. That just shows you you don't need a lot to make a lot as a short seller, because like we were talking about, the absolute value a short seller gets is stupid. It is incredible. And that is why objectively short selling is way better than longing, assuming you're bullish on the asset that you're shorting and you believe it will come back up, which I do believe we all believe that, and we all love Bitcoin here. And that is why I love shorting, and that is why the myth that hodling is the only way to win is simply not true, because with just 10% allocated in short, that 10% can turn into over 100% of the 90% that you hodled. Guys, hopefully this is eye-opening to you, and hopefully you understand the importance and the incredible value you get as a short seller. So next time someone tells you to hodl, to diamond hand, and to make sure you don't give your Bitcoin to the institutions, tell them that they are a fucking dumbass and they should watch this video. Guys, one more thing is, the thing about long buyers is they suck at selling, right? Because long buyers only hodl. They only buy, most people, right? They only dollar cost average, they only buy, and they only hodl. And so longers suck at selling. But here's the thing about short sellers. Short sellers are amazing at buying, because when you're short, you have to close your short at some point, right? Because you know that most things don't go to zero. Most things do continue up and to the right, and eventually will make all-time highs again. So as a short seller, you understand that. So as a short seller, you're never married to your position. And so short sellers close their shorts, right? Short sellers don't have this diamond hand mentality. So here's the thing about closing a short, is you could close a short because you know that the price is probably not going to go much lower. And so this is why being a short seller, right, reverse engineering your brain to what's so commonly taught, right? When you know how to close a short, you know how to go long, because you know that, hey, it's probably not going to go lower anymore. So when you close your short, a lot of times is the perfect time to go long. Whereas, you know, long buyers, they only hold. So they're screwed, right? So short sellers make for great buyers, but longers make for horrible sellers. And that is exactly why you want to learn how to short, because like I talked about, the value you get is incredible, and I hope that makes sense for you guys. So hopefully I've debunked a couple myths. Hopefully I've explained to you the incredible value you get as a short seller. And guys, if you're not comfortable short selling, because it is a little awkward or a little different for most people, because everyone just teaches you how to buy long, how to dollar cost average, and how to hodl for your dear fucking life. Guys, you know, you follow this channel, you know I'm a short seller. You guys know I love it. And at the end of the day, what really is the most important thing is making sure that whether the market goes up or down, you are consistently right. Okay, that is going to be the greatest returns. That's going to be greater than longing or short selling, because you're doing both. You know, but you can't be perfect at the end of the day, right? But what I am saying is most people only have this side of the equation. Most people don't have the selling side of the equation. And the selling side of the equation, like we saw, is 10 times more powerful than buying. And we broke that down through the numbers, right? 6K short on Bitcoin at 60K down to 10K ends up being more valuable than 90% of your portfolio by hodling, guys. So short selling is objectively more powerful, and you gain a lot more of the asset as a short seller. Whereas when you go up, you don't gain more of the asset. You just gain dollars, okay? So guys, if you're bullish on Bitcoin long term, then it makes sense to learn how to short the shit out of it, because it is going to make you 10 times more profitable. It's going to make you 10 times more fucking awesome. And, you know, obviously, you guys know me, pretty fucking good at short selling, if I do say myself, not to be too cocky or anything. But, you know, it's just an incredible skill to have, and if you realize that and you want to improve your skills, then obviously we have our charts course where you can see things from my perspective on how I read the charts and how I find my setups in shorting opportunities, as well as not being a blind bear. You don't want to be a blind bear, a guy who's only bearish, right? You guys see me, I show you and I prove you time and time again, you know, that I go both ways, and I even showed like here in the tweet today, right? The pattern's repeating itself exactly, and this is why I showed you guys that we're short-term bullish here, and that's why I said Bitcoin right here, since this pattern's repeating, we're likely going to rip higher. It's exactly what we see happening, you know, because once again, if you're a good short seller, you are a good buyer, and you are good at going both ways if you're a good short seller, okay? Bad short sellers, I mean, they'll get lost in oblivion no matter what. But, yeah, guys, I would highly recommend the charts course on the side if you are having that light bulb moment and realizing how important it is to learn how to short and the incredible value you get as a short seller. And then if you want to actually take live trades and do some of the things that I'm doing, for example, our crash trading alerts group, where I show you the trades I'm taking. You know, for example, I called this pump in Bitcoin in our Telegram group. Check this out. First message I pretty much sent out to the group, I drew it. So we were at 41K a couple days ago, and I called that we'd do this tiny dip, and then boom, push higher and pump. And I told it to the group right here, I think we're going to go sideways and then push higher. And I even told them, let's see here. So we'll likely sit out and watch BTC rip higher and say, yep, we were right. But basically, we sat out of this long because the risk to reward wasn't great, because we could have. So this is where we wanted to long Bitcoin, is at 41K. The problem was with longing here is we could have easily dipped to 40K before pushing higher. So the risk to reward just wasn't amazing, and that's why we sat out, even though we thought that Bitcoin was going to rip higher. So it sucks to miss out on an opportunity that you nailed. But at the end of the day, it is okay, because it's all about taking good setups. But yeah, I mean, basically, I'm just trying to show you, like, if you want to put the charts course into action and what you learn here and be able to go both long and short, then the best place to come is to the alerts group and see the trades that we're taking regularly. So guys, hopefully I was able to give you a light bulb, and hopefully I was able to debunk a couple myths and show you why short selling is objectively just amazingly, it's just incredibly powerful, and exactly why it's in the institution's best interest, if they want more Bitcoin, to sell the price down while retail holds and hodls as they add an 11x their stack, while you know, retail, you know, 0x is their stack or 1x is their stack, you know. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, make sure you subscribe. If you're looking to learn how to short and get better at it, Crash Trading Charts course, so you can learn how to read, find these setups, and identify these shorting opportunities. And then the Telegram group if you want to take these trades with me in real time. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, make sure you are subscribed, and I will see you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye.